I object very strongly to a situation where thugs are being ferried into these protests. What happened in Jobstown amounted almost to kidnapping.
The people have given that signal to us now. Nip that in the bud. If not, we're facing what is potentially a nicer situation in the Middle East. If those people are allowed get on to do what they're doing, God help this country.
You can see them now digging their own graves in the very place where they were stationed.
We talk about Dublin and the people who are protesting here in Dublin, the socialist group, they don't care about the country people, and they want to act like parasites and live off of the country people.
You have to put the brakes on in your head when you're hearing stuff, and you have to constantly, think about it. Am I being lied to? Am I being wound up here? Everyone is susceptible. Don't kid yourself that no one can be fooled.
So long as we keep paying back a debt that isn't ours, we won't be able to afford basic services. And so long as our national broadcaster ignores this fact and protests that take place, led by the technical group and by Paddy Jihadis, says no, we will continue to have these problems. You've got to stop it.
The power to hypnotise people, to control them.
Was it a peaceful protest? Well, Paul Murphy from the Anti-Austerity Alliance maintains that it was, but one government TD tonight had this to say.
I think that it's anti-democratic to try to block somebody, to try to trap somebody in their car, to try to stop them going about their business. I don't think that's consistent with the principle of democracy.
This might be a stupid question, forgive me, honest singer. Is RTE state TV?
Not really, no, it's not at all. I mean, it's not, because it's not. It's run by independent people who wouldn't ever interfere.
But I just met a very well-renowned RTE journalist. I was polite and respectful, and I said, "Excuse me, would you have any interest in covering what's going on over here?" The answer I got was, absolutely none in the world. That is what our national broadcaster thinks of this.
That's the upside of this crisis, is to bring a new generation of artists that are going to generate some artifacts that we can all be, as a species and as a culture, be proud of. Well, art is political. I mean, this is what art is all about. It's a political action to try to fuse together disparate notions into something that somebody can take to heart, and then have some kind of relationship culturally with. So when the culture gets fractured to the extent where none of it makes any sense anymore, it just all looks like garbage. You need somebody to come in there and to codify and recodify, and art is just a history of symbols used for the codification of all this information into a culturally relevant picture or song or something like this.
Here the rushing waters meet, to wash the weary mountain's feet, where everyone will stop to greet the strangers passing in the street. Although they may be friend or foe, to know we must acknowledge so that passing time can soon decree the mind's compatibility. I came across the wooden bridge as I approached the yellow ridge, whose civil folk I duly found encaptured by their hollow ground. To many places man must go, from faceless streets, through empty roads, through inner journeys of the soul in stifling heat and bitter cold. If travelling but by the self, those learning shall inherit wealth, who need not false modernities to cradle insecurities, who fears but they be feared may find the secrets of the human mind, exposed in fields of fertile bliss where spring has washed and summer kissed. He whose vision of this land in passing left the deftest hand, upon the shoulders passion felt in those who prayed and whom so knelt, not at the covered altar there but long before in open air, whose heavens needed not a roof to convalesce in their reproof, whose ocean in the distance roared, I'll comfort all who dare adore. So dare they did, and there the gates stood open for the mind's embrace. Come in sadness to reply. The man ignored his battle cry, where life but now computered mind has changed the face of humankind. Of Ireland's old, the remnants few still walk to smell the honeydew, before the break of morning comes through concrete fields of damage done. We sacrifice this mortal curse, our peace of mind for fattened purse, whose Eden governed by the snake has hissed and cried the West's awake, allowing Adam and fair Eve to profligate at which they please, and said live life at liberty, look not for what the future sees, but bask in these prosperities. By our consent, the corporate shift came on the North Atlantic drift, with plastic gods of chip and pin that gave to all who wanted in, who never had before nor then, but thus emboldened could pretend that never would they starve again, a fate that fell on greater men. Now silently they flock once more, the swallows perch to leave the shores. Yet theirs is not a spring return, for many seasons shall in turn pass longingly without the song of generations come and gone. Upon his grave I lay my word, a gift unto the modern world. Here he lies where horsemen pass at speed on roads where once lay grass, their pockets laden seek to buy the memoirs of this poet's life, whose Anglo-Irish politics survived impassioned rhetoric. Behold a fascist, tourists all who walk this rocky rolling bowl, to capture moments with machines preserving loss of memories. Now find the peasantry reborn, in wealth the earth is left forlorn. We do not own our lives, but owe until the winds of death have blown. Under bare Benbolben's gaze, the church majestic stands unfazed, though Yeats in flesh has long decayed, his spirit in the mountain stayed. Outside the gates I stood to see the fall of free society, where young and old must pay to breathe this air of ancient Irishry. Cast a close eye on mind, on breath. Merchant.